malware handling focuses on understanding behavior and limiting spread quickly, because speed and clarity determine whether an incident stays contained or becomes a wider disruption.
Malware is not just a file to be deleted, and it is a set of actions, dependencies, and communications that unfold over time.
If response fixates only on removal without understanding behavior, reinfection and secondary compromise are common outcomes.
A disciplined approach treats malware events as both technical problems and investigative exercises, where early containment protects the environment while analysis informs durable remediation.
The objective is to reduce impact immediately while building confidence that the threat has been fully addressed. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to the CISS books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyberauthor.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series.
Malware appears in several common forms, each with different behaviors and implications for response.
Viruses attach themselves to legitimate files and rely on execution to spread, while worms propagate autonomously across networks by exploiting exposed services.
Trojans disguise themselves as benign software to trick users into execution, often opening the door for additional payloads.
Ransomware focuses on denying access to data or systems, typically combining encryption with pressure tactics.
Downloaders act as initial footholds that fetch additional components later, which means early detection can prevent much larger compromise.
Understanding these categories helps responders anticipate likely behaviors and prioritize containment actions appropriately.
Initial triage is where responders establish a working picture of the incident by identifying infection indicators, affected hosts, and exposure paths. This step validates whether suspicious alerts represent real malware activity or false positives. It also determines scope by identifying how many systems show signs of compromise and whether sensitive assets are involved.
Exposure paths matter because they reveal how the malware entered, whether through phishing, exploitation, removable media, or compromised credentials.
Effective triage balances urgency with accuracy, because premature assumptions can lead to unnecessary disruption, while delays allow spread.
A clear triage outcome sets direction for containment and analysis.
Containment is the immediate priority once malware activity is confirmed, because limiting spread reduces damage and preserves investigative clarity. Common containment actions include isolating affected endpoints from the network to stop lateral movement.
Disabling compromised accounts prevents continued misuse of credentials that may be driving the infection. Blocking known malicious domains and network destinations cuts off command channels and payload delivery.
These actions should be proportional and coordinated because overly broad containment can disrupt business operations unnecessarily. When containment is timely and targeted, it buys time for careful analysis without allowing the threat to expand. Static analysis examines suspicious files without executing them, providing insight while minimizing risk. Analysts look at file structure, metadata, embedded strings, and known signatures to identify malware families or capabilities. This approach can reveal indicators such as hard-coded network addresses, encryption routines, or references to system components used for persistence. Static analysis is especially useful early in an investigation because it allows information gathering without activating malicious code. However, it has limits because obfuscation and packing can hide behavior. Static results should therefore inform hypotheses rather than be treated as definitive conclusions. Dynamic analysis complements static work by observing malware behavior at runtime in a controlled environment. By executing the sample safely, analysts can watch process creation, file system changes, registry modifications, and network communication as they occur. This reveals what the malware actually does,
not just what it appears capable of doing. Dynamic analysis often exposes persistence methods, command channels, and secondary payloads that static inspection misses. Care must be taken to prevent accidental spread or external communication during analysis. When performed correctly, dynamic analysis provides high-confidence insight into operational behavior.
Persistence mechanisms are central to malware survival because they allow code to remain active across reboots and user sessions. Common techniques include creating scheduled tasks that execute regularly, installing services that start automatically, modifying registry keys that control startup behavior, or adding entries to user-specific startup locations. Some malware also leverages less obvious persistence paths, such as hijacking legitimate services or abusing management frameworks. Identifying and removing persistence mechanisms is critical because failing to do so allows reinfection even after apparent cleanup. A thorough search for persistence ensures eradication efforts actually succeed. Command and control behavior reveals how malware receives instructions and exfiltrates data, making it a key focus of analysis. Malware often communicates with external infrastructure to receive updates, transmit stolen information, or await further commands.
These communication patterns can include periodic beacons, encrypted sessions, or use of common web services to blend in with normal traffic.
Understanding command and control helps responders identify additional affected systems and block future communication attempts. It also supports detection across the environment by highlighting traffic patterns that should not occur. Mapping these patterns strengthens both immediate response and long-term defense.
Indicators of compromise are extracted from analysis to support detection across related systems and environments. These indicators can include file hashes, file names, registry paths, network addresses, domain names, or behavioral patterns observed during execution. Indicators allow teams to search historical data for earlier activity and to monitor for recurrence after containment. However, indicators must be treated carefully because overly specific indicators can miss variance, while overly broad ones generate noise. Indicators are most valuable when combined with contextual understanding of behavior. Used thoughtfully, they extend the reach of a single investigation across the entire organization. Eradication is the phase where malware artifacts are removed and the conditions that allowed entry are addressed. This includes deleting malicious files, removing persistence mechanisms, and reversing unauthorized configuration changes. Just as important, eradication closes vulnerabilities or misconfigurations that enabled the initial compromise, such as unpatched software or weak access controls. Without addressing root causes, eradication becomes a temporary fix rather than a solution. Coordination between security and operations teams is essential to ensure fixes are applied safely. Effective eradication reduces the likelihood of repeat incidents from the same vector.
Recovery focuses on restoring systems to normal operation while validating integrity and stability. Restored systems should be monitored closely to ensure no residual malicious activity remains.
Validation includes confirming that applications function correctly, data is intact, and security controls such as logging and endpoint protection are operating as expected.
Recovery may involve rebuilding systems from trusted sources rather than simply cleaning them, depending on confidence in eradication.
Communication during recovery keeps stakeholders informed and aligned. A careful recovery phase prevents secondary incidents caused by incomplete cleanup or hidden persistence. Evidence preservation supports both investigation and accountability by ensuring artifacts remain available for later analysis. Logs, malware samples, memory captures, and timeline notes can all be critical for understanding how the incident unfolded. Preservation must balance the need for speed with the need to maintain integrity, so containment actions do not inadvertently destroy evidence.
Proper handling enables deeper forensic work if required, and supports reporting obligations.
Evidence also helps validate conclusions and refine defenses.
Without preservation, valuable lessons may be lost once systems are restored.
Documentation is what turns response activity into organizational learning rather than isolated effort.
Recording actions taken, scope changes, decision points, and outcomes provides a clear narrative of the incident.
Documentation supports after-action review by showing what worked well and where delays or confusion occurred. It also creates a reference for future incidents, reducing reliance on memory or individual experience.
Clear documentation helps demonstrate due diligence to auditors, regulators, and leadership.
When documentation is complete and accurate, response maturity improves over time.
Malware analysis and containment reduce impact while enabling thorough remediation when they are approached as complementary activities rather than separate tasks.
Rapid containment limits damage and preserves control, while careful analysis explains behavior and informs lasting fixes.
Understanding persistence, command channels, and indicators ensures eradication is complete rather than superficial.
Recovery and evidence preservation maintain confidence that systems are trustworthy again.
When documentation captures lessons learned, each incident strengthens future response.
Together, disciplined analysis and containment transform malware events from crises into opportunities for measurable improvement.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.